Hey, so 650 of you filled out this very short form, took like 8 seconds. Which cards do you would like to have added to the classic or even basic set? In about 3 weeks, plus minus a few days, we never know, we will get the new expansion that is not announced yet, but that will be announced probably tomorrow, most likely. On Tuesday 9 AM PST, 5 PM CET. Tuesday evening, EU times, we get a new expansion and we can probably talk about that as well. Anyways, until then, before we even know what are all the cards that are going to get unnerved, which cards do we get new, what is the new keyword, is there any new mechanic, no idea because the people who went to the Hearthstone Summit signed an NDA and they couldn't spoil me that in the DMs. Thank you. I am as clueless as you are, but at least we can predict. So I let you guys fill out this very short form in which I just ask you, hey, which of these 10 cards or any additional card would you like to have added to the classic or basic set? Just to have something like an evergreen card, something you can use forever. You craft it once, it's there forever. Sounds like wild, doesn't it? Yeah, but you can play standard with that card. Crazy concept, play wild. So in case you haven't guessed that by now, we're going to talk about the cards that you picked. Starting with number 1, Whizbang, the Wonderful. For the past year and basically since the card was released, we all wondered, more or less, what happens when the card rotates out to wild. It doesn't really make sense, considering that Whizbang gives you one of 18 decks. The 2 recipes, the 2 basic decks you can create when you create any deck, those are the decks that Whizbang offers you. They change every single expansion. So the question is, when the card is wild, does that change? Do we only use standard cards even though it's wild? That wouldn't make any sense. How is Whizbang going to behave? So there are 3 options. Number 1, we just get the card for free and it's basic forever. Number 2, the card gets deleted, because why not? Or option number 3, they admit that they didn't think about that, and they will find a solution in between. The card becomes wild, maybe the card just becomes Hall of Fame and we get 2 decks that stay there forever, per class. A lot of new players crafted the card just so they have decks, period, because crafting a deck is really expensive. I'm pretty confident that they're either going to get 3,200 dust, if they have a golden one, or 1,600 dust for the card back, or it's just something like a free card for everybody. Whizbang being number 1 leads us to the question, which card is on spot number 2? So what do you think? Should Whizbang be, I ask you what do you think, you voted that the card should be in the classic or basic set. How do you think the card is going to, be treated by Blizzard? It's deleted, wild, Hall of Fame, classic, basic, different solution? Let me know. And while you 100% type that out in the comments down below and like the video, we talk about card number 2, which is, let me check. It's Zilliax. I could have guessed that, but I wanted to double check. Zilliax being probably the most used card ever. He's a fair legendary, he can be really powerful. He's not broken, he is good design. Maybe he's bad design. Your decision. Depends on how you look at that. In short, I'm pretty confident, no matter who you ask on which legendary you should ever craft, they will answer Zilliax. If there's any crafting guide out there, number 1 pick is most likely going to be Zilliax, no matter what. Maybe Zephrys, but only because he's newer. So because all of you crafted Zilliax, and you would probably like to keep on playing standard, at least every now and then, while it is superior, obviously. You don't want to part ways with your trusted unity, precision, perfection. But that would mean that a keyword, which is magnetize, would be in the classic and basic set, which has nothing to do with magnetize. So from a design standpoint, it's probably not going to happen, but this is not about what might happen, this is about what you want. And you want Zilliax, so if anybody at Blizzard watches this, please? Zilliax, lifesteal, becomes a keyword in classic? You want that too? I think so as well. It is unlikely to happen. There are too many keywords in the card itself that are not in classic, but maybe he becomes a free card as well. No matter what might happen, he's your number 2 pick. What is on spot number 3? It's Emperor. Emperor has been a while for the past 3 years, but 1/3 of you would like to have him back in the standard set. I just think everybody has a different playstyle. You can play aggressive and just go face. You don't care about Emperor. You can play a really control heavy deck. You don't really care about Emperor. But a bunch of you guys like combo decks. Your Avianer, Kuhn, Starliner, whatever combo. Emperor is really helpful in doing so. And he has been in Wild since Wild was introduced. And we still play him to this day in almost every single slow/combo deck. And he is a great guy. It's hard to say if he is going to limit the design space too much for standard. But that is not what we are concerned about. We are concerned about playing combos in standard that are not just I play Gallocron Rogue and draw 4 random cards that are 0 mana. Because random. I would like to have a selected set of cards in my hand that I decide to reduce. And Emperor was a good guy for that. He's your number 3 pick, which means he has 7 cards left. Now let's hurry up and talk about them. Number 4 is Boom Pistol Bully. No, it's Lothab. But, 5/5 for 5 mana, same concept. Turns out if your opponent plays Mage, and a lot of you guys don't enjoy playing against Mages or Priests, they usually use a spell to annoy you. To clear the board. Or they have Zephrys and stuff. Well, if you had Lothab in Standard, which is a pretty good legendary, a remarkable card, you would have one more turn. Right now, if there's anybody playing Rogue and you play Boom Pistol, the entire hand full of lackeys is unplayable, basically. You can play like one drop for 6 mana, which is not worth it. Without having spells is also annoying if you play against Lothar, because all your spells are basically unplayable. If he would be back in Standard, and Shadowbook would be, gone forever, because he's Wild in the next expansion, I think it would be fine. But then again, I'm not the guy who plays Standard, I play Wild, so. Would it be too much to have Boom Pistol Bully and Lothar in the same format? Well, I play Wild, and no, it isn't. You might ruin too many decks. Your opponent would like to play Druid and use a spell? He can't. You play an aggressive deck and you want your opponent to not clear your board? Well, you can do that if you have Lothar. Great guy, one of the staple legendaries you can craft. He fits in almost every deck. He's basically the Zilliax in a different way, because he's played in a lot of decks for 5 mana. Makes sense, okay, maybe it doesn't. Next card is Brann. Now, if you play the newest quest for Shaman, which is already 8 months old, your battle quest triggered twice this turn. Brann, being a neutral legendary, does the exact same thing, but you don't have to finish a quest, and you also don't have to play Shaman. Every single battle cry, Krongs for example, would happen twice. Your Galakrond happens twice. 7 and 3, that's 10 mana, you can do that. It's basically like giving every single class Spirit of the Shark for Rogue, or the Shaman quest hero power. Would that be too much if the entire meta is dominated by lackeys? Because those are insanely powerful 1-drops. Is Brann too much? He could be, but if you look at Wild and where Brann sees play, maybe you play really slow deck or mill Rogue. Brann doesn't really see that much play in Wild. I mean, he does, but at the same time, the best decks just kill you and ignore your Brann. If Brann would be basic, you could play... What could you play? You can play your Elven Archer and deal 2 damage for 1 mana. You never know, it's just speculation. So we look at the next card, which is Reno, but not the amazing Reno or the other Reno. Reno. You play Highlander decks no matter what. I don't like calling those decks Highlander, so you can call them Reno again. You can play Reno Warlock in Standard. Wouldn't it be great? I think it would be. It might make them too strong, considering that they can heal for 29. But maybe that is the playstyle that brings slower decks back. Maybe that's why I voted for him. 25% of you would like to have him back, which still means 75% of you think, wouldn't be the best meta if he's just back. I like Reno, and I would like to play that in Standard without healing for, 8, using Healing Touch by him playing Zephrys. Would be cool. Then for the next spots, those 2 cards tight. We got Dirty Red and Tar Creeper. Really good design and really good design. Dirty Red ruins the opponent's combos. He has Zephrys, he doesn't. He has Alex, it's not active. He has any combo card ever, doesn't work anymore. Also, Leroy Shadow Step, if you hit their Leroy, and then you kill that, there is no Shadow Stepping in that, where you just constantly go face. Tar Creeper, such a great card. Probably one of the best designed cards ever. It's a 1/5. On your turn, it's Silverback Patriarch with an upside. But on your opponent's turn, it's basically Darth Stinger. It's a 4-drop. So you can play aggressive, you can play defensive. It's like Zilliax, it fits into almost everything. A lot of you guys played during Angora times, and you missed those times. When you played Elemental Shaman and realized that Kalimos is pretty bad. When you tried to play the first iteration of Hearthstone quests and they all didn't really work. And soon after when Death Knights were introduced, Tar Creeper was still there, on your side, protecting you from whatever the opponent played at that given point. Tar Creeper, love that guy. Next card. We got Firefly. Firefly being a 1 mana 1/2 adds a 1/2 to your hand. Firefly is such a great 1-drop because the card in itself is just a 1 mana 1/2 that does not do anything. But because it copies itself basically and gives itself back to your hand, you can play 1 more 1-drop without drawing a card. And because you have this card in Galakrond's Awakening, which summons a copy of itself, if you played an elemental last turn, I feel like I mumble a little bit. Maybe there's more elemental synergy to come. Firefly, being an elemental, he might be a bro. He might be a go-to 1-drop. I just hope they do something. Next card, it's Zombie Chow. Zombie Chow is the least favorite card that you voted for. Maybe because healing your opponent's face is not the best thing. Or because you just didn't play during Next Ramus and experienced how a 2/3 for 1 mana, which is Flame Imp, basically, but swapped, can change your early game. I have to agree, Zombie Chow is not really the biggest change. I mean, we had Mistress of Mixtures, which was fine. Then we had, or have right now, this Blazing Battle Mage. You have well set up 1-drops. I like the card, crafted that in Golden twice, haven't played that for 4 years, but it wouldn't be too bad in Standard. And with that being said, those are the 10 cards that you voted for, that you would like to have back in Classic/Standard. But there's one more thing. You had the option to write down other cards that you would like to have added. The 3 choices that were made the most often were all memes. We had 4 mana 7/7, we had Ogre, and we had Ultra Saw. Yeah. We got York. We also want to have York unnerved. It just feels like if Hearthstone is random enough already, we might as well get York back and have him unnerved. Like if we have Puzzle Box of York anyways, Where's the point of not having York? We have Reno, the amazing guy, who is basically York. If York could be back in standard, we could at least meme a little bit. And if we survive until turn 10, well, maybe. RNG just hits us full, clears the opponent's board, sets him down to 1 health, and we gain +1 attack and kill him. Because random. Hearthstone is competitive and serious and all that, not really. So many things just come down to luck. You might as well have York back. Or you hate York, and you vote for something else. Let me know. Number 2, Zayli, which kinda makes sense. So Zayli is the evil card, right? One of those evil heroes that have luckies and stuff. You get one of their decks. You get Bomb Warrior, you get Hawkwaggle Rogue. I don't know, nobody plays Zayli. The card kinda sucks. But he's like Whizbang. You get a pre-made deck, and if you already bought the adventure and get him in golden, you might as well use him forever. And get a deck that might be updated at some point and not just be created once and then it's garbage in the next expansion. Blizzard. Wanna update decks? Yeah? It's really hard, I know. You gotta net deck something and put that in there. Whew, 2 steps. And lastly, Xenoth, the Corruptor, was in standard for 1 month, 2 months, when they brought back a bunch of wild cards, like Renounced Darkness and stuff. We had N'Zoth back, and that was so much fun to play against, wasn't it? The opponent played Priest, they had Carded Defender, they had N'Zoth, they had Seance, they had another one, they had another one, and another one. Whew. Ha 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 ha. I think N'Zoth is not the best choice there. In almost every case, when you drop N'Zoth, you either get garbage and your opponent kills you, or you get something good and you win. I personally would say, probably not. But then again, if somebody plays an aggressive deck and they don't kill you by turn 10, they did something wrong. So you might as well get rewarded for surviving until turn 10. Maybe that old tentacle monster, not York, but N'Zoth, is one of your best friends. Or he won't be. I'm just here talking about things that you guys talked about, so in short, we all have no idea. It's just speculation, you can't be sure. Anyways, thank you very much for filling out that form. If you would like to participate in this kind of videos in the future, well, Discord. My name is Solem, let me know what you think. Which cards you think that were not mentioned or mentioned should be in standard, evergreen, be usable forever. I think we can almost all agree Whizbang should be a card that everybody gets for free. So you can at least start the game and have a somewhat realistic approach to playing a normal deck. Instead of building your deck with, I don't know, whatever is in the classic set. And until then, have a good day and take care.